Hi everyone, welcome to the new episode of Yotewo podcast. And today we have our new guest, Anastasia, senior product manager from Dreamdaze Technologies. So, Anastasia, thanks so much for coming over. It's really good to meet you in person. First of all, we haven't met previously, so it's good to meet you. And I think before we get to the questions, let's maybe start with a bit of an intro on what do you do, how you came to the UK, and a few words on that.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me here today. So in October, there will be like 3 years as I'm in UK.
Okay.
I came here actually for studies. I
Okay.
just in January graduated from University of Bath.
Okay.
Got my executive MBA degree. That sounds
Nice.
fancy. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
cool
it
one.
was quite eye-opening. So I really love it. And now I plan to stay here and like expand my network and, just going with this market.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm working in Dreamdaze technology. So like the shorter one is just Dreamdaze
Yeah.
as a senior product manager. So how I came there to
Yeah.
become a product manager, that's actually quite fun story because as I like to say, it was quite accidental.
Yeah.
I got my bachelor degree in economics
Yeah.
and started really like I would say traditional path for the people with such degree.
Yeah.
So I started with audit, then financial due diligence in deals in the big four companies,
Yeah.
then moved to corporate investment banking. Oh my God, it was like 8 years of pure financial analysis.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, like the work wasn't feeling fulfilling.
Okay.
And I was really unhappy. And I realized that like those big corporate values are not aligned with my personal values. And thanks to career coaches, I made a really drastic shift. I went to the crypto investment startup.
Okay. That's cool.
So from like the companies were like thousands of people, I moved to the company of 20 people.
Web3, especially, yeah.
Yeah, and it was all like real fun.
As a product manager as well, or
No,
no?
I joined there as investment manager. So the nature of the startup was that at the time it was 2017.
Yeah.
There were like
It was a good time for crypto.
yeah, the crypto was booming, blockchain was booming, like AI right now.
Yeah.
So in the world, lots of large crypto holders, and there was very little utility for crypto.
Okay.
You can just hold it.
Yeah.
So what we did, we provided the opportunity for those large crypto holders to invest in traditional financial instruments like ETFs. And so my work was just create those traditional instruments
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But in a year, I still remember even the date. It was 31st of August 2018.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, my founders of those startups, because I was reporting directly to them,
Yeah.
they said, like, they just fired the product manager from there.
Yeah.
And they said, hey, we thought it would be nice if you fit this role. I was like, oh my God. Because it's real fun, because at that moment, I didn't know the difference between product manager and project manager,
Yeah.
like production and staging environment.
Yeah. It's
I
two
knew
different
like,
things. Yeah.
yeah, because of my background, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. It was different. Yeah.
So, yeah, so I had to learn, and I had to learn really fast, like really on the go. I started
Yeah.
going to some, I don't know, conferences,
Yeah.
networking events, some courses, books, just and applied all that straight on the go. Well, eventually, which happened to most of the crypto startups,
Yeah.
that one went bankrupt, and I spent some time in another legal tech startup.
Okay.
But then I left it just to nowhere because, I didn't kind of aligned with the founders in that startup.
Yeah.
And I decided to take some time off just to rethink like my new career path
Yeah.
and everything because
That's good.
yeah, I'm really thankful for that crypto startup for the drastic change because I
Yeah.
really felt in love with this role, with product management, with creating products, all the frameworks, and my actual financial background was really useful and like analytical skills, everything. But it brought me some creativity, which I think is so missed in those large corporates.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, and so then I got headhunted by Dreamdaze because one of the founders of Dreamdaze was one of the guys who worked together at Blackmoon.
Okay.
So he got to know that I'm available. He said, okay, you're now working for me. And since then, yeah, I'm staying with Dreamdaze.
Cool.
And I really enjoy that.
Amazing. That's an amazing journey. Before we get to Dreamdaze and questions on that, can you, because, I have recently, especially on a podcast, a lot of people who had this transition from like strong financial, like corporate background to startups. Can you tell a bit more about this, like motivation to change from, what exactly was not fulfilling with the job? Was it like, just bureaucracy? One guy that we recently had from Verdance Ventures, he said, I think that he worked, and I don't remember where exactly was it, but he said such a thing that he had very strong disconnect with the financial products that he was selling. Like he couldn't like feel the connection with what he's doing, and then he switched to venture financing where he actually works with founders and stuff. So in that sense, like what was the the main motivation? Was it
I think for each person it's a bit different, but for me, like I made some soul journey, I would say this way.
yeah
For me, I like to see the impact of what I'm doing. So in large corporates, how to say, you do really one small input.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm sorry, you can't see the big picture, how you bring any value to your clients or whatever. In startups, it's like this.
So you can feel the value actually, like
You can
tangible
see
value.
the value. Yeah, you can, I don't know,
Yeah.
have an idea in the morning, then ask your engineers to just put it in production. And in the evening, you see
it's
like
already
the
there, yeah.
feedback from your consumers. And I'm like really result oriented. So I like that about this. And
That's cool.
it's really brings me joy. That's one thing. And another thing, oh my God, is that in some large corporates, I'm not saying about all of them, your work comes like really routine. It's always the same, even like I've done those analysis, despite it was like consulting job.
Yeah.
Like the companies might be different, but at the end, it's all the same. You do all
Within
the
the
same.
box, yeah.
Yeah. So after, I don't know, 5, 10, it's all very predictable. In
I
startups,
see.
it's chaos. It's always chaos. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm really enjoying that.
Cool.
And I think the last thing is, especially with startups, is that in large corporates, sometimes sometimes you just feel not seen, And in some cases, especially when I used to work in the bank, I even didn't have a job to do. And but but you still have to come and sit there from 9 till 6.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And even if you have nothing to do in startups, like you always see the results. First of all, there's always something to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, of course.
yeah,
There's always a backlog of things.
yeah, there is always something to do. And it's always seeing the contribution of all the people. You can't hide your incompetence or something
100%.
behind others. It always will be seen. And it's also all about the results. That's why I like it.
That's cool. That's really amazing. And I think that's perfect for like this mindset. It's like very specific people with this mindset who are not too happy at the corporate job because they kind of like living in this a bit of chaotic, environment and do something.
You just want to be surprised every day.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's pretty cool. Perfect. Let's get to the Dreamdaze studio then. Can you tell me a bit more, about the story of the company itself, and sort of what's the main thesis? Like, how do they work? What do they invest in? How it works.
Yeah, sure. As a person with financial background, first of all, a disclaimer. That's the most important part that I remembered from that experience. Like, I'm not part of the founders, so I will tell the story from
Product management perspective.
Yeah, from product management perspective, and more like employee. But in Dreamdaze, I call it venture capital studio, but my founder is a bit resistant about that term because we do actually quite a lot of things. But the core is, yes. So just imagine you have an idea for, I don't know, payments app or some digital platform.
Yeah.
And it's just you, you need raise capital, you need to hire a team or whatever. It's quite hard to raise capital when you don't have any type of prototype or some MVP or something like that. But you can partner with us. So what we do, we have the team. I'm as a product manager. We have engineers, designers, analytics, and some other guys, technical writers.
Yeah.
So you can partner with us we come and we take all the product and technological expertise on us. We develop all that side, so you can be focused and responsible only for like corporate
Commercial
strategy,
side, yeah.
business side, operations, and marketing, because we don't have marketing expertise within us also. So, and for that, we don't take money, we take part of your equity.
Yeah.
And we will stay with you till scalability stage, like around from 3 to 7 years,
Okay.
around 5. And then we will gently hand off everything to you and
Yeah.
your team, what you bring in house,
Cool.
and just leave you.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's the main idea. So ultimately, yeah, our thesis is we don't write checks. We invest with our expertise and
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And what I would say, what I like about Dreamdaze the most is that we kind of enter as a partnership, you know?
Yeah.
So we are not like engineering boutiques where,
Yeah.
you know, you just hired for do this specific product or this specific piece
Like
of code or
co-building
whatever.
partner. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just get paid and that's all. We actually form the partnership and we really support the founders in any other areas with our networking,
Yeah.
network or whatever is needed, some advices, how to secure like your first round of investment, how to report to them, etc., etc.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
amazing. What kind of, in terms of what kind of founders come to you? Like, do they have an idea in place, or I don't know, some designs in place? Like, sort of what stage?
Early stage.
As early as possible.
Yeah, as early as possible. I
Cool.
really like. I joined Dreamdaze when there were a couple of projects which are already kind of had MVP or something at least.
Yeah.
But with me, I actually started with one project, like literally there was nothing. So we, we had to set up like Google accounts, Slack
Yeah.
accounts, you know, all that stuff.
Everything. Yeah.
Everything. And it was really, really exciting to see and also bringing this product to the market.
Yeah.
So it's early stages. Yeah.
Cool. That's great. And you mentioned also like the payment app. Is it just like any specific industries that you're interested in, or
Usually,
generic?
like our main expertise is in financial.
Fintechs? Okay.
Yeah, fintechs. But actually, what I found interesting
Yeah.
doing my work here is you can find finance everywhere.
Yeah.
So
that's
finance, it's like, you know, saying I'm a doctor. There's so many different
Yeah, ways,
variations of finance. So we have like insurance, we have digital payments.
Yeah.
We even have like one pilot with grocery deliveries, because underneath of all of that, you actually manage payments, you know,
course,
and
yeah,
all
that's
that
the main
money.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So
And
mainly.
we like what I also like is that we partner with really traditional industries like insurance,
that's
you know, payments, especially in US.
Okay.
And you bring that technology and a little bit kind of disrupt the industry.
Yeah,
I
okay.
know this word is overutilized, but this is what
But
we
it makes sense.
actually do.
Yeah. Cool. That's amazing. Can you share a few cases? So I've read about a few of them, like the Big Plan, Skox, even Grasslands a little bit. Maybe if you can, share sort of, some use case, maybe your favorite one that you've been working with.
Yeah, I like the Big Plan, and this is the Big Plan and Squeaks. Both of them are in the US. So the Big Plan is the insurance company. So when Obama was a president, if you remember, there was something called Obamacare, and one of the subdivisions, what he wanted to provide is more affordable insurance for just ordinary people. Yeah, because you know maybe that in US, all healthcare you should pay for it, and it's quite expensive. So what he allowed. Sorry, just a little bit, lots of talk about
That's cool.
as insurance, but
That's cool.
still, the company might not provide the group insurance, but it's called ICRA. I'm sorry, I forgot how it's what this abbreviation means.
Yeah, that's
But in essence, what it means is that the company can allow the employees to select their own insurance plans, and the company will just reimburse fully or partially the cost of that plan.
interesting.
Because within the group plan, you know, they just buy the group plan, but just imagine you have like some specific health needs which are not covered by the group insurance, and these provide more flexibility and affordability for the employees.
That's
but
nice.
yeah, so we took that opportunity. It was a niche market.
Very nice.
Very niche, but we found. Actually, I think those founders turned to us. They were brokers in this, insurance brokers in this industry, like for 30, 40 years. So they had lots of
Amazing
industry domain there.
connections and yeah.
But they knew nothing about how to build technological products,
Okay.
because it's
It's a perfect
all
case.
so traditional. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is how we started our partnership. So it's quite a comprehensive and quite complicated project because in terms of just your consumers, you have companies, you have employees, and
Very
you
different
should
user
be
types.
responsible for both sides. And also it's very, very regulated.
Yeah.
And it's quite complicated process of buying insurance for individuals.
Yeah.
It's like one of those questionnaire when it's like you're on I don't know 50s question, and then if you answer yes, then go to 170.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you answer no, go to the 96, and you
Yeah.
wonder what happens with the questions in
The
between.
flow is very different.
Yeah, so you can imagine how much like product work and like especially design and took to just accommodate all of that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's one. And SQX, I like it because it also was driven by really traditional thing in the US.
Yeah. Payments, right?
Yeah, it's digital payments, but our first like idea MVP, like the gap where we saw the opportunity was about. I've never been in the US, but I saw that things quite a lot in the movies, especially the old ones, when like the mother in the family sits in the dining table and clips from the newspapers, the paper coupons.
Yeah.
It still exists, it still exists, really. And yeah, it does. And they also have like paper checks and whatever. I've never seen paper check in my life, but it's quite common in the US also. So what we did, we designed the solution how the company can distribute what we call serialized link, and the consumer can go through like really short, it's like 1 or 2 screens flow, and then get some kind of the payment card. It can be prepaid debit card. It can be what we called custom code. It means the codes provided by the client, like the restaurant or whatever. Or it can be some gift card.
That's a good idea.
And the company can distribute whatever it wants, like SMS, emails, even QR code on the bus stops.
That's
so kind of
it's like custom code distribution, pretty much.
it can be any kind of payment code.
Yeah.
And it's going to be unique because each link is serialized, so only one person can use. But eventually we figure out that the use cases are much larger than just, coupons or something like that. For example, it's widely used in custom consumer care, even in...
like ticketing and all of that?
No, there are many others. It's like consumer care for employees and like disaster relief situations, because our SQX is based in Florida, and unfortunately they suffer a lot from they have hurricane seasons, and lots of companies want to help the employees who got hit by something like that.
Yeah.
Also like charities, also.
Okay.
Many other use cases.
Okay.
So it's quite interesting.
Okay, interesting. So it's sort of evolved into concept of like this personalized like payment infrastructure kind of thing.
Yeah, so you can deliver quite quickly the payment code to your employee or to your consumer. Also like customer acquisition. We made the flow for the customer acquisition or like loyalty, because the shop, for example, want to open the shop or whatever. We even had a use case when you show the QR code on the stadium. The people can scan, from the Jumbotron, the QR code, get the payment code and go buy, I don't know, whatever on the stadium.
That's really cool, actually. Amazing. That's nice. So most of the founders in the portfolio, they're in the US, or do you have anyone in the UK as well? Mostly, is it the States?
Mostly it's in the US. We have like 2 active projects. These 2 that I just described, they are in the US.
Yeah.
And we have one, Grasslands, you mentioned a little bit. It's piloted in Israel, but actually we're looking everywhere. We're quite global,
Cool.
And it's like funny thing about Dreamdaze that we're really private. We don't have
Yeah.
website.
It's like a stealth mode.
Yeah,
Super stealth mode.
we don't have a physical office anywhere, and we have
Yeah.
absolutely remote
Remote
team.
teams.
It's across the globe. Literally, we have team in Argentina, US, Canada, UK, Spain,
That's great.
and all other countries.
Cool.
So
That's
yeah.
amazing. The question, I have another one on the studio aspect, which I've always had, and I always have this question, because how do you align between what founders expect and what you expect? Because this is something, it's like gonna get in a co-founder, because you get stuck for like three to 7 years, as you mentioned. So
Yeah.
how do you usually align on like sort of the expectations?
It,
Is it like throughout the process?
I just wanted to say it's quite easy, but then like,
Is it?
well, it might sound easy, but yeah, as in all relationships, there are different
Ups and
things.
downs, yeah.
Yeah, there are ups and downs, but usually because we partner with the guys or with the people from like traditional industries, we have really different expertise.
I see.
One have really domain knowledge of this particular industry,
Yeah.
and we have really great knowledge of how to build technological
I see.
products and everything. So our roles straight
don't,
from the beginning are
yeah.
really differentiated.
Yeah. Not
But
overlap,
what
yeah.
I like about this is not like we are like separate.
Yeah.
We work as a team at the same time. We're
Cool.
really interconnected. We established the processes of product creation, which are fully transparent. From
That's
like idea of the feature in the product, you can track till
Up
the
to
code lines.
Shipping, yeah.
Yeah, and we have all the roadmaps, everything absolutely available. We're in constant touch with
That's
each
cool.
other because, like I'm responsible a little bit for the product strategy, which
Yeah.
is derived from the company strategy and
Of course,
like
yeah.
everything. So
Got it.
we always in touch, we always together, and we really learn from each
Yeah,
other.
like transparency and
Yeah,
trust.
because as a product manager, you need to know the industry.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, and they need to understand how to run technological products because
true.
it's truly different from traditional
Of
industries.
course. Yeah.
So,
That's good advice.
yeah, we're like separated, but still really together.
Yeah. That's amazing. Perfect. Let's get to the product management side of things.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit more about, first of all, like generally about the process. Maybe some principles or patterns that you usually follow when building a product. Like, just talk me through the process.
Yeah, when I joined Dreamdaze, I was actually the first product in Dreamdaze and first woman in Dreamdaze.
Okay. Nice.
So one of my, aside from working on the project, one of my assignment was to create kind of the frameworks, which we can then replicate on all other startups.
Further on, yeah.
So we usually start how we call it pedagogy sessions, because as I just mentioned, we come in the industries where we might not have the domain knowledge. And it brings its value. So it's kind of, it's combines like market research at the same time with the customer interviews, customer discovery and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's quite a lengthy process. So we invest a lot of time in that, several months at least, like 3 months or so.
Okay.
But it brings lots of insights. And I like this stage a lot because what happens? Sometimes when you spend lots of time in one industry, you get so used to the patterns that you like forget to challenge something. And then we come like, innocent child eyes and look at this, and we start also, we're learning, but at the same time, I usually say, maybe that's a stupid question, but it usually turn out to be like, it's a good question. Like, why we're doing it that way? We need to check like regulations and everything. We start challenging the existing, the existing patterns, the existing
like,
behavior. Bringing new perspective, and that helps then to build the product, which is bring something new and more convenient to the market. But the rest steps are quite the same as building any other product. You go through this kind of discovery. Then you build, I really like Lean Canvas. You put it like as a snapshot, going through like some other researches, interviews, some testing, etc. And then you
Pretty
go to the
traditional then further on.
pretty traditional then. But
This first part is
the first
unique to
part
Dreamdaze,
is
yeah.
really unique because of the nature of
Of course, yeah.
Dreamdaze, of our relations and how we work. And
Yeah.
I would truly encourage people really
To do
invest in
something like
that.
that. Yeah, that's really cool. You know, it's actually interesting. We recently also had a guest who was like, he's a chief of staff, so he deals a lot with hiring. He was like, before you hire someone or before you like get a co-founder, just spend like a few weeks with him, see, you know, how is the synergy, how's everything. So it's really like resonating to what you just said. And my question is, do you make a decision to continue working before like that 3 months or after the 3 months, like the kind of the final decision to continue? That's the
Well, that's an interesting question because it was,
different ways.
yeah, it was different ways, to be honest, because sometimes there are definitely some, like my founders, yeah, they do some preliminary research and preliminary negotiations, which I'm not part of.
Yeah.
At least they, you know, check the waters, the vibe of another person, if they can work
Yeah.
together, etc.
Of course.
Then when it comes to the product, usually like a little bit at later stage, but they still attract me. And we did actually a couple of times what we called like product due diligence, if you may say that. So we looked really deeply in what they're proposing. Sometimes they already have some kind of solution, what's working and what's not.
Yeah.
And then we decide, but usually you can say in a couple of weeks if it's gonna work or not,
Okay.
because some major risks for us we can see straight away.
Yeah, like tech risks. Yeah.
Yeah, it may be
Business as well.
feasibility or
Okay.
maybe business risk. Or sometimes there was one use case when we realized the industry is not the industry, really, regulation is not mature enough to
Okay.
introduce there any technological solutions,
Interesting.
because regulation was structured that way that you had to do lots of things manually, like literally print something,
stamps and signatures.
and signatures, and like, you know,
Yeah.
Royal Mail deliver. And
What was the industry? Sounds something like notarization or legal.
believe it or not, it was duty free.
Duty free. Oh, okay, interesting. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
So
Amazing.
yeah, sometimes you just come across such risks. Not
Yeah.
such, I wouldn't say that risks, it's like obstacles.
Just kind of
And
like market
you
conditions.
you can't help.
Yeah, interesting. And can you talk me, tell me a bit more about the validation? Because if they come very early on, how do you specifically go after like checking the validation of like whether the users will actually use? Yeah, how do you go about that?
Oh, I have a cool story about that.
Cool. Go on.
Well, maybe it's not the story, but a little bit philosophical
Yeah.
moment here, I would say. When I joined Dreamdaze, I also, how to say, I didn't have a lot of experience as a product manager,
Yeah.
and still, I would say, a little bit brainwashed by all the courses and books that I've read that you need, you know, go and discover like the consumers, talk to them,
Yeah.
etc. When you put that in the business perspective, it turned out to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do all that product management stuff, but my boss taught me one really important lesson here, is that you shouldn't start doing any kind of business and any kind of investment there, maybe except your time, if especially in B2B industry, if you can't secure your first 10 clients straight away.
Interesting.
Yeah, through your network, through your something, even like literally sign the letters of intent. If you can't sell your idea to your potential clients, even before building it, it's not worth doing it. And the same thing even goes with B2C. You should be really sure
Yeah.
where you're gonna get those. Not just we will put these banners on Google Ads or like Facebook ads or whatever and do some, I don't know, blogs or whatever, content marketing. No, you should be really specific how you're gonna drive your consumers,
sales.
which channels, which sales channels are gonna be
Yeah.
there. And you need to validate those before you do anything.
That's a really, really good advice, honestly. Because I also, you know, there are a lot of founders who are like, yeah, we'll set up sales after we fundraise. And in reality, like you can do, even if it's like not huge. And I think it really depends on the industry, because for some industries, 10 clients would be quite difficult, I think, depending on what they
Yeah.
do. But generally, I think at least some sales they must be done like before you do anything. That's completely true.
Yeah.
So it's
But
really good
it's
approach.
also like if you go, that's that business level. But if I put it back to my product level,
Yeah,
it's also really beneficial because you need to talk to your consumers, you need to
yeah,
understand them. And like these early adopters, they provide you with that
feedback.
absolutely crucial insights to build
Yeah,
the best of your MVP and what actually should go there.
100%.
Yeah, and what's important also, because I'm a little bit, like the community and all that,
Yeah,
talking to the clients stuff, because these people already kind of invested time in you.
yeah,
They are interested in you building that the best
of course.
product.
Yeah,
So
100%.
they will give you lots of
The most
advices and
honest feedback.
everything, the most crucial feedback.
Yeah,
So
that's a good one. Yeah, that's really good advice. Perfect. And can you tell me a bit, yeah, about how you and the team and the founders handle this high-paced environment? Like have you like generally, what's your feedback? Because obviously, like startups and building a product, like especially early stage, it's always a race for something. It's always difficult. It's always like in a rush. Yeah, how do you guys handle it?
oh,
Or maybe challenge me on this. I don't know.
no, I think usually you have really, how to say, for founders, I would say delegate whatever you can delegate. Yeah, you
Yeah,
should surround your team, yourself with a team who you can trust.
of course.
And so you delegate whatever you can, because as a founder, you need to stay focused on the high level.
Yeah,
On the strategy, like investment
yeah,
relations, business
yeah,
development, all the things. You need to be focused on that level, but at the same time, what I see, it goes to opposite ways. It's either the guys that go really high there, that they lose the track and reality and like the ground
mm,
of what's happening in the company right now,
yeah.
what the product can do. So just stay grounded, go
That's a good
to
one.
some of the, I don't know, sync up calls or whatever calls you have, check the roadmaps, see what's going on, the consumer feedbacks, like
Yeah,
just spend one day at least for
yeah.
all that things, just to
To be on top
to
of
be,
things. Yeah,
yeah, to be on top of things and still understand what's going on this technical level, what obstacles there might be, but
yeah,
focus on that higher level, because that's your job, that's your responsibility
yeah,
as a founder. Sometimes I see the founders who are too focused on the product,
yeah,
on all those minor things, even
yeah.
like why
Designs
this,
and stuff.
yeah, why this color is this button, like it's not, just
Yeah,
forget about it.
yeah,
Go and talk to investors or
exactly.
go and talk to some partners. So yeah, and within the team, what's the most important is like have the transparency, because startups at the early stages, it's really small teams.
Yeah,
It's like maximum 20 people. Come
yeah,
on.
of course.
So
20 is
just,
quite like big
yeah, so
already.
just stay really transparent and aligned. We
Yeah,
actually designed some processes,
nice.
like how to be aligned with
That's
all of
cool.
this, and you have really split responsibilities, so that helps. You're
Nice.
aligned, but everybody knows what they're doing.
Cool. That's amazing. And besides that, are there any mistakes that you've seen founders or maybe product managers do with their products, or maybe like overlooking some parts of it? Like any other sort of mistakes to highlight?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
founders.
By the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, by the way, yeah, like everybody's missing something, but each startup is different as every person. But in perspective, I would say that most of the founders, they should fall in love with the problem, not the solution.
Mm,
So
yeah,
because
that's a
when
great.
they have the business idea, it usually arises with some kind of the problem, a gap they see in the market or the like opportunity.
Yeah.
So stay focused on that gap, problem, opportunity,
Yeah, what's going
whatever,
on there? Yeah,
because it can be resolved in various different
of
ways.
course.
And like let your product team to figure out which is the best, because then
That's good advice.
you can play around with different technological solutions, feasibilities, like AI, Web3, whatever. You
Yeah,
can put
yeah.
everything
See what
there to
works best.
resolve it, but stay focused like on the problem and the market.
That's actually a really good one. Yeah.
Yeah, on the product side, I would say some products, right now it's all about human-centric design, everything like talk to clients, do the
Yeah.
discovery, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes products get so, I don't know, invested in that, they forget about
The actual business.
actual business and, to be more precise, economics.
That's true.
Because, for example, especially with all this AI stuff right now, actually implement those quite expensive.
Of course.
And sometimes you don't sacrifice your unit economics for the sake of user experience.
That's true.
Yes, you want to provide the best user experience because, to be honest, consumers right now are really spoiled.
That's true.
But not for the sake of unit economics. It still should
That's
work.
really good advice. That's a really good one. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's great. The next one I have is on teams. Can you tell a bit more about how you structure tech teams? And when it comes to hiring, because with startups, the hiring is very volatile. Like sometimes you need someone very niche and specific for like short period of time. Sometimes you can't find the exact person, because that's like what like our platform is all about. Like we match founders with very niche sort of on demand like plug and play professionals. So my question is, when it comes to venture studio, like how do you structure teams, and do you see this kind of problem like happening sometimes?
Yeah, we had a couple of moments, but first of all, I would say we don't go there where we don't have technical expertise.
Okay.
So just one of the examples was
Makes sense.
one of our companies, they wanted to get rid of one of the providers, and they said, hey, you can do that, guys. That's technical, you are technical, like why you can
Yeah.
do that? And we said, sorry guys, we can't because we don't have that particular
Yeah.
expertise. You can hire somebody who has like this set of competencies which
Yeah.
we're lacking, and we can work with them together, and
Exactly.
together we can design the technical solution.
Yeah.
But unfortunately we can't.
Not
So
like
sorry.
solely, yeah.
Yeah, but in this case they put that idea on the shelf. It wasn't like our best priority or
Yeah.
highest priority. But in most cases, if it is a priority, we just say, hey, we can help you. Yeah, so let's find somebody together.
Yeah.
And then we also part of the process of hiring process, because we will have to
That's
work with this person and find the technological whatever they design, we will need
Yeah. Of
to
course.
implement that. So yeah, our advice is just don't take on that responsibility or that you don't have expertise for.
Okay. That's
And just be honest about that. There's because we are in that partnership, it's okay to share hey guys, sorry, we can't do that. Let's hire somebody.
Yeah, cool. That's amazing. Perfect. The next one I have is pretty generic one. What is one, obviously, because it correlates a little bit with the mistake part that we discussed,
Yeah.
but what is one product related advice would you give to non-tech founders, if you could, just one? This was a really good one about fall in love with the problem, not the product, but maybe any advice for founders that are non-tech that they should know before get into the industry in general, maybe something else.
For getting into technical industry.
No, to running a startup but being not a technical founder yourself.
Oh,
Maybe related to the product, maybe to the management, maybe to, I don't know, teams. Can be anything.
just be in love with what you do, actually.
Yeah.
To be honest, yeah. I think that's the main thing, because being a founder, it's really demanding job.
That's true.
And it's really different type of a mindset.
Yeah.
Being entrepreneur, running your own business, because there are lots of risks in that and lots of responsibility, and you have to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
So I'm really risk averse person, so
Yeah.
yeah, and that's maybe why I'm a product manager, not an entrepreneur. So yeah, you can't foresee anything,
Yeah, that's
but just have couple of plans A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
Try to hedge your risks if you can.
Yeah.
That will help you. And if everything goes wrong, and it will, definitely.
100%. I was about to say something
Yeah.
will always go wrong.
Something always will go wrong, and definitely will. Just take a deep breath, literally take a deep breath,
Yeah.
and try to, I don't know, think outside the box a little bit. It happens to everybody.
It happens to everybody, yeah.
And sometimes you will feel overwhelmed, and
Yeah.
I would truly suggest to go to some networking events, because
Yeah.
I've been in some networking event I think last month or a month ago. It was about go to market.
Yeah.
I thought it's only our pain.
With
But there were
marketing,
like
yeah.
go to market, but there were people there, and we all was sharing like the same things,
Yeah.
and you can't believe how relieved I felt,
Yeah.
because you know that there are some people out there who are facing the
Same
same
issue.
issues,
Yeah.
so it will really support you.
That's
So
great advice. Yeah.
yeah, be in love with what you do. Try to hedge your risk. Be prepared everything go wrong, and if it does,
Yeah.
it's okay, because go and talk to the people.
That's the normal
There's
thing. Yeah.
definitely there gonna be people who face the same.
Absolutely, yeah. To be honest, it's really interesting that you mentioned that because we're starting a series of events tomorrow. That is exactly about like mixing up people who are struggling with something and people who like overcame the struggle. Like tomorrow we have an event called Fundraising in Silence. It's like to set up like this interactive conversation between founders who fundraise and founders who are struggling to fundraise. You know, just to share the stresses and all of that. So it's really cool that you mentioned that. It's
Yeah. On
definitely.
that topic, one of the things that I saw or read somewhere just recently is that I was thinking also like about my career or whatever,
Yeah,
and I was thinking about maybe getting a mentor or something,
yeah,
and I read the sentence that if you're looking for a mentor, don't go to the person who are like several steps ahead of you. Talk to the person who is
one step ahead.
one step, who
Yeah,
just resolved this
that's
issue.
amazing advice
Yeah,
actually. Yeah.
because the people who are like several steps ahead, they already forgot all that
Yeah,
stuff.
that's true.
They are facing new issues, new difficulties. They live in their own new world.
Yeah,
But just talk to the people who just a little bit ahead of you, or maybe even facing the same issues,
yeah,
because you will feel the same. You know, they can give you actual practical
yeah,
advices. I think what you're doing is quite amazing. Should be
yeah.
really beneficial.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's actually a great advice. I've realized that one of my sort of mentors as well is also like we're very in a very similar position. However, he's a little bit ahead of me, but I think yeah, he's given sort of the most useful advice sometimes. So
Yeah.
that's definitely a good thing. Cool. One question about like sort of future looking ahead. What are some of the trends that you see in the like product industry in general that kind of gets you excited? Might be not
Okay.
AI.
There are
Maybe.
like trends, and there is what get me excited. That's two
Okay.
different things.
Okay. Let's talk about excitement. Yeah.
Yeah, there is something that, like in Venn diagram, like
Yeah.
correlates. But yeah, one of the things, well, I can't say nothing about AI, it's everywhere. But
Yeah.
don't, like, my suggestion for product managers,
Yeah.
don't get too excited about it, and don't
Yeah.
overuse it
Yes.
everywhere.
Yes. Yes.
And check the privacy policy of all those AIs and where they store that information.
That's
Uh,
a great one. That's a
and
great one. Honestly.
But for me, personally, I hope my boss won't watch till this moment. But what for me is actually helpful is how AI helps to speed up some of the researches
Yeah.
and discoveries. Don't delegate, I would say, to it all the work.
Yeah.
So all the creative parts should be on your side, because
Yes.
none of any AI tools is capable of doing that right now. Nothing replaces that human spark of
Yeah. Of
creativity.
course. Yeah.
Yeah, so these tools, they're actually tools.
Yeah.
So for me, I was really hooked with I think it's called deep research within ChatGPT. Just recently I had to do like extensive competitors research, like 30 companies.
Well.
And yeah, and the deep research really helped me,
Okay.
because they structure it in a better way. They do really nice findings, but what's more important, they put the links, all the findings, they're like
Like
reference.
references. That's cool.
And yeah, I always do cross references.
Yeah.
Always
That's
check
great,
what
I think,
these
yeah.
tools providing you. But overall, it's definitely speed ups all those processes.
Yeah.
It's really helpful.
Yeah.
Another trend that I see and actually I really like is about communities.
Okay.
So especially in PaaS and SaaS, as always, they try to build communities around their solutions or platforms.
Yeah.
And I see that also started seeing in retail. In fintech, it's a little bit less.
Yeah. 'Cause
But
yeah.
again, it depends. Like around payments, that's less because it's just a tool. But in some way, like insurance, for
Yeah.
example,
That's more
or
important. Yeah.
it's build the communities, because people always look for get in touch with
Yeah.
anybody, you
Yeah.
know. And in terms of, I have read some studies that loneliness kills more people than, I don't know, drugs, alcohol,
Yeah.
and everything. That really people are like really looking for that things.
Yeah.
So if you look and work in some industry where it's possible,
Yeah.
try to look in that trend.
I
It's
see.
really interesting.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
interesting. That's yeah. I definitely share both of these. They're pretty exciting things. Cool. Great. And I think just the last question to wrap up the podcast. Do you have an ambition to build your own product? As a product manager, I'm pretty sure you're excited about doing this with founders. But yeah, do you have an idea to build something yourself at some point?
Yeah, actually, I have, I think, two business ideas right now. One is
Okay.
quite easy. I just don't have time to do it.
Yeah.
Another one, I don't have enough knowledge for that.
Okay.
But the second one, I'm actually really excited, and it's in my bucket list to do
Okay.
that.
Do you mind sharing?
Yeah, I
or-
don't mind. I actually discovered during my MBA studies, because how would you say, there was that during the MBA studies there was that leadership course, which, to be honest, I'm
Yeah.
not sure about cursing and swearing in this podcast, but I
Yeah.
will say anyway. I thought at the beginning it's gonna be like absolute bullshit, like, you know, something, come on, self-help books or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was one of the best courses we had, because
Okay.
we had really professional guy who forced us to reflect on ourselves a lot. Usually, you know, in like ordinary life, you don't have time for that.
Of course.
But there you had to. And I found I had the ability to formulate better all my passions
Yeah.
and everything that I'm interested in. And I realized that I have my vast expertise in technology and financial, quite traditional things, and quite, I would say, really developed, you know, like really mature. But there are lots of new industries, and I'm really passionate about not overall sustainability,
Yeah.
but all about green technologies
Okay.
and everything about nature. Not so much about humans
Yeah.
in that nature, but actually about nature and how we can help do something there.
Yeah.
And it's quite difficult. And I started thinking how I can bring together those two things,
Okay.
because it's somehow these two things seems to be really disconnected. Yeah, there are some venture capitals who invest only in the green, you know, startups or
green
whatever, but it doesn't still have that vast adoption among ordinary consumers. You
yeah.
know, ordinary consumers still don't have many ways to support
there is
any
a huge gap.
green technologies, or I don't know, do some green investments or whatever.
Yeah.
It's always like through charities
Of
or
course. Yeah.
some one-off events or something like that.
Yeah.
So I was thinking how I can bridge that gap together.
Okay.
I still don't have all the answers, but this is kind of where I'm thinking about.
I think that's really interesting field, especially the aspect of investing in green tech. I think that's specifically for consumers, because like there is over like the last years there is a huge move towards getting more access for like ordinary people to invest in like startups, like syndicates,
yeah.
other platforms, and I think specifically doing something like that, but specifically for green tech, and then kind of like building a wider ecosystem out of it. That's
You
definitely
know,
a cool thing.
I actually was playing with, I still don't have enough knowledge there, but I was playing with the idea. I pitched that idea to our entrepreneurship model in
Yeah.
university, is that, you know, we have lots of rewards, cashbacks, miles, whatever we have. And I realized there are several billions of unused rewards there, because we all have those rewards apps.
Yeah.
But you never know how they work.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
sometimes you know about airlines, sorry.
Yeah.
But even there, because they denominated them, now you need, I don't know, fly twice a week to get something good to buy on those miles.
Exactly.
But there is the opportunity, I think, I don't know yet for sure, that you can convert on that unused money into actual cash, that then you can allow ordinary people to invest in something.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. You know, now you got me thinking about it. It can be a very interesting system to have, especially if, yeah, that's
You
pretty
can
cool.
accommodate across all your reward system,
Yeah.
accommodate, and then do as a crowdfunding platform.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, yeah, specific, because I think it would be quite difficult to actually withdraw it like in cash. It's going to be like very difficult. But if you can somehow reinvest it in, like, let's say, yeah, in like impact projects or whatever, and then the companies like who provide these like sort of rewards will be kind of, you know, in between, like, you know what I mean. It's going to be like a pretty,
Yeah, because we all think about how to say, we all think about being green. We actually want to do something, but let's be honest, most of the people are quite selfish.
and have no idea. Yeah.
Yeah, they quite selfish and they want to look good and etc.
Yeah.
And they won't invest actual money
Of
in
course.
this.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, like,
Yeah, but if you have this shitty money, those
yeah,
rewards that you're not gonna use anyway
exactly.
because you're not flying so much or you're not buying so much,
Exactly.
but
Yeah.
you can accommodate and invest them and then to put some
100%.
badges or do some gamification there and like brag a little bit on social
Yeah,
networks.
exactly.
You can do that, especially for Gen Z, who's like really popular. And
Exactly.
for the startups, it will bring like they will have some free marketing, I
Of
would say
course.
this way,
Of course.
some mobile adoption, etc., like access to ordinary people, I would
Of
say.
course.
And for the company who, like the partners who
Yeah.
provide the rewards,
Exactly.
they
Yeah.
will still
Be
loyal.
exposed to the market.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're
100%.
exposed to the market, but it won't ruin their loyalty programs.
Exactly.
You know?
100%. And especially if there will be like a notification system that tells users that, look, your points are about to expire. You're not going to use them anyways. Why not do that?
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Cool. That's amazing. Well, that's a great idea. Keep us updated on how you go with it, because
Yeah.
it's a really great one. Perfect. I think that's about it. Look, thank you so much for coming to the
Yeah.
podcast.
Thank you for
I'll put
having me.
all the links in the description to your LinkedIn, to Dreamdaze, and yeah, it was great having you here. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.